Gotta love that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Video Games, back with another really cool arcade game that we're shooting a video of here for you. Today is Atari's incredible Pole Position 2. We got one of these suckers in really nice shape, and we fixed it up. We've got it looking good, and we figured, you know what, let's film a little video. So here it is. Now, those of you who really know what's going on might realize that this is a Atari Pole Position 1 cabinet and has been upgraded to a Pole Position 2. The Pole Position 2 that was dedicated, the side art was different. But if you had a Pole Position 1, you could buy this little kit, and it came with a new game board, it came with a sign for the top, and it came with, oh yeah, the bezel, a new bezel. So this is a Pole Position 1 that they have turned into a Pole Position 2. Now if you listen really carefully, can you hear that? That's the sound of success. Pole Position was a great game, a fantastic game, but a lot of them, probably most of them, broke early and broke often. And it's a very hard game to kind of fix. It's hard to get it going again, which makes this all the more impressive, really. If you've messed with one, you know what I'm talking about. But I'll tell you about that here in a second. The monitor, it's got a little, how the color's a little off in a couple spots. That's just because it needs to be degoused. That's not a big deal. I just haven't done it yet. It's because we moved it around. But anyway, so this is a Pole Position 1 cabinet. It's in really nice shape. It's got a few little scrapes and bumps right down there on the corner. It's a little, right there, it's a little rough. But all in all, it's pretty good. There's not that many scratches on it. Pretty decent. And then on this side, pretty decent. So when Atari designed this game, it was very complicated for its time. It's got a ton of chips on it, and it really has a lot going on. Well, they figured out early that they had issues. Some of the chips get really hot and they overheat and screw up. And then there's other things. And so they had a lot of problems with these when they came out, the first one. And this Pole Position 2 uses basically the same board set. They had problems with the power supply, the way it was made. They had problems with just the design of the board architecture. So they had a lot of issues, and a lot of these broke early. This one has, even though the cabinet's really nice, it has, let's look at the meter. This will explain it a little bit. That meter says 188,129 clicks. So this thing has had 188,000 quarters put through it. That's what? Over $45,000? Something like that? How good's my math? It's about $45,000, a little more. So if this game cost $2 grand when it was new, but it made $45,000 worth of quarters, that's pretty impressive. Now, I don't know how many of those were, you know, somebody just pressing the wire, playing it with free play, but it looks like this thing earned a lot of money in its lifetime. So operators really wanted to keep these things running, but they had those issues with the boards. So one of the ways that you fix that is, it's hard to find somebody that can repair the boards because they're kind of complicated and they've got a lot of issues. We were able to find a gentleman who's good at repairing them. He repaired the board for us. And then to make sure that board doesn't blow up again, we rebuilt both of the power supplies. There's two power supplies in Pole Position. We rebuilt both of the power supplies so that they've got a nice, they're giving a nice steady power. And then that noise you're hearing is a fan. We'll show you how we did this. I guess we should have painted the back here, but basically the board set is right in here, and those chips run hot. Like I said, we put, and the later Pole Positions came like this, but this particular one had never been updated. It was still the way they originally were. Originally it came with just a flat back door, just like most games. But after a while, Atari updated them where they put a big exhaust fan on it. So that's a 4-inch, brand new, AC powered, 120 volt powered, or I guess 110 volt powered ball bearing fan. And it's set up as an exhaust fan. So it's right over the board, and it's pulling out all of the hot air out of the cabinet, and it's blowing. I can feel kind of warm air that it's blowing out. Inside the cabinet, if you open up the front, let me check it, because it's been on all day pretty much. Yeah, it's cool inside the cabinet. I mean, it's almost like a refrigeration unit. So that keeps those chips clean. So if you get one of these and you actually get that board set working again, please put a fan on it, because if you don't, you're going to have more issues. So we were able to do that. So I've got a board here that I pulled out of another one, just so I can show you another issue that Atari had, okay? This is a pole position board. There's two boards, top one and the bottom one. This is the CPU board, the bottom one's the video board, right? Okay, and it's got all of these chips like this that are custom chips. Namco designed that. They used a lot of those on Dig Dug, Galaga, some of that kind of stuff, right? Which were other Namco games. Or I guess Galaga's Namco, I don't know. But anyway, so here's the board, big old board set, no big issues, right? And then you get down to here. Look at that! That's a battery, right? So they installed a lithium battery on all of the boards because it would save your high score, right? And then when they shipped it, it had this little jumper right here. I don't know if you can see it. See this little brass jumper? Okay, let me see if I can tell. Yeah, there we go. So I want you to look at this, folks. See that brass jumper? It's in the off position. That's how it's shipped from the factory. If you put it here, it would connect the battery. Look on the back. There's the tongs for the battery. Here's what we're talking about. Right here. Right now it's connected from here to here, which is a storage position. To turn it on, you connect it from here to here, right? And then if you look at the trace, that provides power to this little chip from the battery. And then the battery can be recharged and everything. So check this out. It's in the off position. That's how it was shipped from the factory. And most of the operators never even turned on the battery position, because you'd have to take the board apart, unsolder that, solder it back in connected. Now some operators did, but a lot of operators didn't. This operator didn't. So not only did that battery, after a few years, start eating up the board to where it's completely destroyed. Now look at this. All of those traces broke. Pieces, parts just, you know, look, that one just fell off. That transistor just fell off. It completely ate up that part of the board, and they never even used it. It didn't even need to be on there because of the way that's done. You had other companies doing battery, well, not battery, but doing high score saves with, like Atari. Well, it was Atari. This is Namco, I guess, but Atari was able to do high score saves on games like Millipede and Centipede with just a little chip that didn't have a battery component like this. So it's really a shame. It's such a great game. So not only did they have problems with some of the custom chips would overheat and die if the board got too hot, but they also had problems with this freaking battery that wasn't even enabled on most of the boards. It had no use to even be there. So this board here, I don't know if we'll be able to even repair that one, but luckily there's plenty of broken pole position boards around, because literally probably 80% of them are damaged or not working. So there's this cabinet. And then another thing about these a lot of times is this this plastic, they call this a shroud. This shroud will be all burned up from cigarettes. So if you look close over here, there's a little bit of that going on. You know, back in the day, a lot more people smoked, and a lot more people in arcades and bowling alleys and stuff, that would be, you know, the prime place people would smoke. So you can see where somebody laid their cigarette there and burnt that up a little bit. But this is actually in very nice shape, considering. Usually this whole top is burnt all to crap, really messed up. This one's actually in pretty nice shape. That's a Matsushita. I'm not kidding, folks. That's the name of it. Look it up. It's a Matsushita. I guess maybe I could be nice and call it a Matsushita monitor in it. That was kind of common in these pole positions. Not really known for being one of the greatest monitors, but it's got a really nice picture on it. Other than that degoused issue I was talking about. We've rebuilt it, and on these you pretty much have to rejuvenate the tubes. The tubes for the Matsushita monitors get really dim over time. So we rejuvenated it and got it nice and bright again. And as you can see, it's got a nice little picture on it. And this thing plays good. So I will set up the tripod and we'll play it a little bit, and you can see what pole position 2 is like. Alright, I set up the tripod. We're going to play through pole position 2 a little bit. The difference between pole position 2 and pole position 1 is pole position 1 only has the Fuji track. Pole position 2 has 4 tracks, including one apparently in Egypt. Although they don't really call it that, I don't think, so I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, we're going to play through it. I'll probably do about as good as the guy that just blew up. Let's pick that Suzuka track that I was just talking about. All right, let's do it. Whoa. Whoa. Oh! If all of those bystanders wouldn't have been standing there. Oh, come on. I think pole position 2 is harder than the first one too. That's the excuse I'm going to use. Whoa. Oh, come on. Come on. The reason it's redlining like that is because I'm trying to downshift so I don't hit anybody while I'm going through the corners. Horrible. So I was 14th best as long as the high scores have been completely reset to factory. Horrible. But there you have it. Atari's pole position 2. Wish I was better at it. If you look here on YouTube, you'll find some people playing the main version, I'm sure. That will be much, 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 much better than me at it. So check that out. But anyway, there it is. Now by the time you see this video, we may not have pole position 2 in the house anymore. We may have already sold this wonderful game. But maybe we'll have something else you're interested in. If you're looking to buy something, just check out our website, lionsarcade.com. And we have pictures and prices and descriptions of all the games we have in right now up on the website. We always keep it up to date. Or you can stop by our shop. We're in downtown Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is about 15 minutes south of Charlotte, North Carolina. So we're over the border a little bit. And if you just stop by sometime, or if you're not in the area and you're not really looking to get a game, just subscribe to us here on YouTube. We're going to keep filming videos of all of these, especially if we get something in really cool like this. So we will see you next video.